everybody, it's Safi and Marco. And what are we doing today? Well, it looks like we have another episode of Chucky the series. It is episode 7, and it's called Twice the Grieving, Twice the Loss. And if you saw last week's episode, you would understand the title. Okay, well, unfortunately, this episode was, oh God, let me see. Well, I explained it to Marco as like a meteor that is broken up into big chunks, and all the chunks are going in all different directions, looking for the main piece to get back to it, and they can't find it, and so they're all lost. And by that I mean there's just all kinds of different situations going on, very separate from each other, and it's disjointed, very disjointed. And there's even something at the end I never even got to ask Marco a question about it, but I'll wait until he does his thing and I'll say a few things, and then we'll get to that because the end's a little while from now. But anyway, I don't know what else to say. It's just it's kind of a disaster, and it's sad. I just, even more so, and I think I might have said it in the last episode, maybe even the episode before that, I have no idea how this series is going to end. I have no idea where they're taking it. It's just kind of a disaster. So I'll let Marco say what he wants to say.
Now?
Go ahead, Marco. Well, I could say some things that went on. I don't know how much we want to... I guess I could say who's in the episode. There's more Tiffany.
This episode sucked.
Okay, let's not.
It was horrible. It was terrible. It was the worst thing I've ever seen in this season of Chucky. Let's talk about this episode. Okay? At this point, I don't have any expectations because the show is just, it is completely unraveled into trash. And so
That's another good analogy.
I don't even expect any sort of like, oh, I'm excited for episode 8 because, oh, I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see that. It's like, no, I don't even care. I don't even care at this point. Safi doesn't either. She's shaking her head.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to see a lot of Christmas movies.
Don't
It'll
be
be a good
nice.
diversion, but
Don't be nice.
I just don't know how they're going to bring it all together.
Safi. Be honest. Honesty.
I don't know what to say when I don't have any expectations, because I can't even imagine how they're going to bring all these pieces together.
What pieces? These trash pieces? It's like
Whatever they are.
It's like you got Jake. Like literally, the opening shot of the episode is Jake making his special face. Remember that, Safi? He's like looking at the coffin, and he's making that face. Like, this is just laughable at this point how bad it is, and wow, and the whole episode, it was worse than I could have ever expected. This season of television, this Chucky show, it is definitely the worst show of the entire year. I mean, it is worse than Tell Me Your Secrets, and it is worse than Your Honor. It is worse than American Shit Story Season 10. I mean, they really reached a new low this week with their shitty writing. And it really is just the writing. Well, it's the writing and the bad acting. So you got those two things, and then the music. Music's terrible.
It's
I mean,
80s.
I didn't get to mention last week, but because Safi was like trying to rush through it like usual, and but they had the mom kill herself, quote unquote. Chucky pushes her out. They play this horrible song while she does it.
God.
And it was like this stupid modern song that I've heard before. Like
I had never heard it before.
Some shitty song that you'd hear some of those bitches in high school playing on their phones, something like that.
I don't know.
And it just does not fit at all. And the music is like a big issue because they have that amazing theme from the first movie, the Child's Play 1, one of the best movies in the series. And they just don't want to use it for some reason. It's really bizarre. Like, they have this perfect theme. It's probably the greatest horror movie theme of all time. And they don't even use that. You could make like 30 to 100 different songs just from that one song. Like, you can take ideas from the song. You can make your own songs. Like, you could do so many things. But instead of doing that, they just plug in these other songs that we've already heard a million times.
Well, I don't understand why they were playing that. We've got the beat. I don't understand that.
Yeah, like, what does that remind me of?
What is that related to?
Jimmy Neutron the movie? Remember when it plays in that, Safi?
No, I don't remember that. I just am familiar with the song. It's an 80s song, and it was a girl band from California.
What's that teacher? What was the teacher's name of Jimmy Neutron?
I don't know.
When she's surfing down the hallway because she's a little miniature of herself, and they're playing that song in the background. Like, that's what it makes me think of.
And it's all
because it's already been
band.
used before.
It's an all-girls band.
Well, this show is an all-girl show. I mean,
I don't get that.
The male characters really aren't very masculine anymore. I mean, the most masculine character on the show, he
is dead.
he doesn't even put up a fight when he gets killed. I mean, it's just so embarrassing how bad this is. Yeah,
so
who cares? Who cares?
Probably would have passed out if he would have.
Haven't you ever heard of drunk bar brawls, Safi? When people get drunk in a bar and fight, that's not an excuse. And let's talk about that. That is the most disappointing death the entire season. I mean, the dad. He's not only one of the better actors on the show. They wasted his character, but he's also the most athletic person in the whole show.
He does look athletic.
You can't tell me that grown-up Andy, Mr. Thanks for the cigarettes. He was so bland and so boring, but you can't tell me that guy, that he is more athletic than the dad. And then the dad, we see him get killed, and you'd think that there could be this epic fighting sequence, like this really good confrontation between Junior, Chucky, and the dad. And does he put up a fight? Not at all. He just falls down on the ground and gets beaten to death by Chucky himself, held by Junior. And that was the most... Like, you thought that it was bad, an American Horror Story, how the mom fell for her, 5-year-old girl, giving her a poisonous pill. You thought that shit was bad? Well, wait until you see this athletic, he looks like he works out all the time. He just completely gives up.
Yeah.
What a shitty scene. What a shitty sequence. What a shitty show. What a complete pathetic embarrassment. I mean, let's talk about Junior too.
Ugh.
Because Junior, he's this little flake, and he's just like, okay, Chucky, I'm gonna do your killing for you. And then after he kills his dad, he's
an orphan now.
He falls down on the ground, and he's like,
yeah, he's singing too. I've got the beat.
And you can hardly hear him. What's he saying? What's that little wimp saying? And then Chucky's standing next to him, and he's dancing around and going and singing too. And I thought that was hilarious. Just the show has become so shitty that we've resorted to a scene where you have Junior, and he's singing again, and he can't even sing because he's just mumbling to himself, and Chucky's dancing next to him singing. I mean, I'm sorry, people, this is laughable, okay? If this was the 1980s and we were watching Child's Play, this movie story in the 80s, if it was made in the 80s, that little fucker Junior would have already been dead by now. This is ridiculous. The fact that, and now here's a mind-blowing twist, Safi. You're gonna love this. There's only one episode left.
What?
Yeah, it turned out that was an error on IMDb. There are not 10 episodes. There's only 8 episodes.
What?
So tomorrow, next week is going to be the last episode, Safi. Last episode.
Oh, I was gonna say.
So
now I'm really like.
this was the penultimate episode of the season. Like, wow, good job, clap, 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 shitty writers. I mean, I just hate this. This is just so pitiful. This shitty story, just it's all over the place. You got a scene here, a scene there. It doesn't feel like the same show that it was in the first episode. Like, at least the first 2 or 3 episodes, they're the best ones because they felt like they were a show. They felt like they were all glued together. It was like a gingerbread house. And now this is like if you took the gingerbread house and destroyed it and knocked it up to pieces. And then you said, look, we can eat the gingerbread house now. Isn't that fun? It's like, no, I don't want the gingerbread house anymore. You destroyed it. You smashed it to pieces. Look, the icing is all broken up. It's all messy. It's gross. I don't want that anymore. This is trash. And then what else? I mean, the episode starts off with a stupid funeral sequence where we get some more YA drama. And now listen to this, people. I know that there's a distraction in the background. It's not our fault. We're not unprofessional like that. Safi is a little bit, but not me. Maybe the cat. He's unprofessional too. He's sleeping right now because he's not interested in Chucky anymore. He watched the first episode or 2 with me, and after that he was like, this show sucks. Fucking YA drama, fucking lighter than Goosebumps ass Chucky show, pathetic. But as I was saying, remember the cliche in all the horror movies where the characters split up? Well, nowadays it's funny because now they acknowledge that splitting up is a bad idea in every single horror movie that there is.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, what do they do, Safi?
They split up.
Yeah, they still split up. Like, what the F is up with that?
It doesn't last long, though.
Yeah, but they did it. They did it because they had to for plot convenience. So oh, God. Like, really? You have to make the characters split up? And then you have Devin. And he's done all this true crime research, but he doesn't care. Like, oh yeah, it's really smart to split up even though I've done all this true crime research. Like, yeah, that's not a retarded thing to do. And, then you got Chucky. Chucky's character's trashed now too. They ruined Chucky. Good job, show. You ruined your own main character. Quote-unquote main character. Because basically the YA kids are the main characters. And then Tiffany as well. But Chucky is literally just hanging out at these people's houses, waiting for them to come home so that he can interact with them while they're doing their little YA drama outside. Like, that is literally what Chucky does this whole episode. He's just waiting around for Junior to come home. Yeah. Because he knows that Junior is the stupid little raisin bran flake. I mean, nobody likes Raisin Bran, and this is why. Because when he's a little Raisin Bran flake, and he can't even say his lines. He's just like, hey Chucky, what are you doing? I'm gonna go kill him. Yeah, I can't wait to kill him. I mean, come on, Safi. That's what happens. And then you got Jake. Jagged Jake. Jagged Jake decides to run away. And in doing that, of course, it's plot convenience, so that he's not there when the dad gets murdered, but also so that he can put his fingerprints on his dad's wallet, his uncle's wallet, while he steals his $400 or so, which is convenient because it's like the exact amount that he needs to pay off this guy who has a Chucky doll, and the Chucky doll is conveniently not possessed. And then Jake conveniently takes it to Lexi's house and gives it to her. And it's like, wow, just because he's not possessed now means he can never be possessed? Like, what a stupid-ass group of people. What a stupid-ass character list. He buys this Chucky doll. He doesn't even destroy it. Like, what a doofus. He takes it to Lexi's house, a place where Chucky's been before, obviously, because he was going to kill her, and then he just doesn't because she's a teenager. She can't get killed. This is just really bad, Safi.
Well, the reason why I believe he didn't say this, well, no, he did say something, but I don't exactly know what it was. But the thing is, he didn't destroy the doll because it wasn't enchanted yet.
That doesn't matter.
Well, I know.
That doesn't mean it can't be enchanted in the future.
That's right. So he wasn't thinking. Idiot. He wasn't thinking.
What a stupid idiot.
If they're trying to defeat Chucky, they have to do everything they can to defeat him, and that would be destroying all dolls.
Speaking of stupid idiots, you got Devin.
But he's grieving.
Yeah, okay.
Marco is not taking into consideration.
Every single episode, you have to make an excuse for this Devin and Jake drama.
The thing
every episode, it's like, Marco, I know you're going to complain about that, but it makes sense. There's an excuse for it every single episode.
He loses his only parent. And he
lost her because Chucky killed her, and then he's like, who cares, Jake? Who cares?
And he just,
who cares?
And he's going to have to go into foster care.
I'm just going to go home and film a podcast episode like us.
And then...
a convenient podcast episode that, it's funny. I mentioned last week, why doesn't Devin make his podcasts anymore? Oh, well, because he has to make this convenient little narration podcast that is like narrating the show about... Growing up in this town wasn't that bad, but it's bad now because of people like Jakey Poo. And, that's my podcast episode. True crime? Oh, who ever heard of true crime? Let's talk about Chucky crime. Because, what true crime has Devin ever heard of? Like, he's got a poster of In Cold Blood on his wall. He's got all these shitty detective comics, detective magazine posters on the walls. It's like, what serial killer has this little brat ever heard of, ever did any episode about? Like, we never hear about, like, someone who researches true crime would be referencing it all the time to talk about these murders that are ongoing. Oh, well, in this murder, this happened, so maybe we should do this and that, because research has shown, or cases that I've seen have shown, that we should do this and that to catch Chucky. And, we shouldn't split up like a group of idiots like those kids in fucking It Chapter 1. Remember that, Safi? The kids decided to split up near the end because they're having your little YA drama. We gotta split up because we're upset. Wah, wah, wah. What a pathetic group of crybabies these kids are. These kids should have been dead episodes ago. Chucky should have mowed them down by now. And Chucky is just... He's literally... In the first scene we see Chucky in this episode, he is literally just standing in the kitchen. Just standing there. Doing nothing. What's up with that, Safi?
I don't know.
What's going on with this show, Safi? This is bad. This is really bad.
Well, I think, first of all, you have Devin, who only had one parent. So if she's dead, he's an orphan. What is she, his aunt? his aunt's there, but she's going to go back home. And so he says he has to go to foster care. So I can see why he's a little upset, but his thing is he's going to be depressed, and he doesn't want to see Jake ever again.
Oh no, but he wants to go to Chucky's old childhood home.
No, but he changes his mind. That's the thing. You look at Junior,
He's so dumb.
and you look at Devin,
Yeah.
and they both have lost. They have no parents. They're orphans.
Well, I've lost the show, so I've suffered a bigger loss.
Well, anyway, Devin or Junior hasn't lost his father yet. I think that happens after, or nobody else knows about that yet. Anyway, so you have the reactions. The reactions first, they're grieving, which is totally understandable.
Yeah.
But then Devin,
especially when
he's tearing everything down
when there's a killer running around. It's really understandable that you would be grieving while there's a serial killer running around.
You're very short-sighted.
Oh, well, there's a serial killer running around.
And well, there's that too.
And the serial killer, he conveniently just sits around and waits for them to get over it.
And so Devin, he's woken up a little bit, and what he does, I don't know if I don't think it was explained well. That's what I'm saying, not at all. Why he decides to go to this. He's torn everything down from his wall.
Yeah.
All these articles, clippings, pictures of these Chucky and other things that Marco mentioned, like in cold blood, the in cold blood murders in Kansas.
Like, wow, that was such an important true crime story. Not.
Well, it was important to the people who lived in the area, which we did, and that was not a good thing.
On the very bottom of the list of true crimes, there's so many other true crimes.
Well, they have one pressing one right now, and that's Chucky.
The fact that he has a poster of it on his wall, what? Isn't that a little queer?
But anyway,
he's got a poster of In Cold Blood on his wall.
But
ew.
Anyway, he's torn everything down just about, and he's displaying some kind of anger, grieving, whatever, and then, but he kind of wakes up, and he decides to go check this house out
just in time for the show.
And then the other guy, Junior has one parent left, and he doesn't have an uncle because his uncle was killed too. And what does Junior do? He's so weak-minded, and he's lost it, basically. I mean, he's probably would have to be hospitalized and be psychoanalyzed, probably needs psychiatric care for a while.
He needs a Red Bull so that he can wake the fuck up.
Well, I don't know if that's going to wake him up. But
he's so sleepy.
What does he do?
Sleepy Junior.
First of all, Chucky starts talking to him. And he finds nothing unusual or weird about that because it didn't happen before. This is the first time. And so
it confused me because I thought maybe it was a twist that he was evil the whole time.
And so I'm thinking he really is already gone off the deep end because, and so then he lets Chucky, first of all, I think he was going to go off and kill Jake. I think they had decided that between Chucky and him, but Jake was to blame for everything wrong, and he's got to be killed. And he says, "Well, I don't know if I can do it."
Well, I don't like Jake either, so I don't really care.
Oh my God,
his character's trash.
And then the dad had gotten drunk, and he is very athletic. He's not out of shape, but he was very inebriated.
So
he comes home. And Chucky convinces him to kill his father. And he's angry anyway. I don't think it took Chucky much urging to do it. And so he uses Chucky to bash his head in. And over and over and over again. And I was just like, he's an orphan now. He has made himself, not Jake.
No, Safi, Jake was around, so it's his fault because Jake's around.
Actually, he wasn't. He wasn't anywhere near them, and he kills his father. And then, for some reason, that We've got the beat, we've got the
No,
beat.
that is not sung like that. It is sung like,
Well, yeah, but that music comes on. They play the music, and Jake's, or Junior, sorry, starts singing it, but like in a barely audible.
I was like, do I have to turn up the volume? I can't turn up the volume. It's on max volume. This little, the director can't be like, hey, Junior.
Yeah. Oh, so anyway, so the tracks they took to after their mothers were killed were completely different. And I think, and it's interesting, Devin had one parent anyway. So when his parent was killed, he had nothing. He's going into foster care, but he took a different tack. And then what I don't know if that's really explicable though, because why would he go to that house? I guess to see who's there.
Because he's Devin. He's gonna go to the plot.
He's doing his research.
He needs to go where the plot needs him to go.
And then Junior, he's gone insane.
He's got his taser.
He's had a nervous breakdown.
His widow Twaza. Oh, he picks up his widow Twaza and he just stares at his tasers. He turns it on. He's like, yeah, look, I got a little taser. I used it in the last episode and then I stood there like an idiot while Chucky got up.
Well, anyway, I thought that was interesting how the reactions of both of them are completely different. They're grieving at first, but then they go...
Safi, there's nothing intelligent about it. It's plot convenience.
Whatever.
He needs to do this at this certain time. He needs to do this at this certain time so that the plot will happen and we can have our shitty 8-episode season.
Okay, well, I have 2 questions then, because I don't know how much more we can...
Well, I was going to talk about Nika and her random turn.
But why don't you explain that? But the thing is, Jake and Lexi end up together.
Devin?
Because Lexi has to stay home. She's not allowed to go anywhere.
Lexi, it seems like the episodes where they take Lexi out are the bad episodes. So it's kind of like, why don't you put her back in so that we can have a good show?
And then, so they're like trying to figure out what to do. And then, so they're off alone, but I have 2 questions well, at the very end, because we're almost at the end, some man shows up at, I don't know whose house, and was that the kid grown up?
What man shows up at
The
someone's house?
guy, the kid who grew up and is after Chucky.
I don't know a man shows up at a house?
Yeah, there was some man who, and they showed him, and then they...
Was it Andy? I don't know.
That's why I was wondering.
I wasn't paying attention because I just didn't care.
And then,
maybe
the other question is, what is the deal with Tiffany and Junior's father? Did they have some kind of affair or something?
Who cares? That's the question. Who cares?
In the past? Well,
why does it matter?
Well,
why do you care so much?
Because I want to know why.
It's stupid, Safi.
I want to know what it's about.
They've already done this storyline before. They did it in Curse of Chucky, where they teased you the whole movie, and they said, what's the connection between Chucky and his family? Oh, well, he had an affair with the mom. Like, wow, that's really intelligent twist.
Tiffany shows up at Junior's house twice.
Yeah.
First, they're having the funeral, wake, and then she comes, she's wearing a beautiful outfit and perfectly dressed, and she goes up to the father, Junior's father, and she kisses him on the lips.
So what,
And then she leaves,
Who cares?
and Junior's like looking aghast and like, what the hell?
Are you invested?
And then Junior is outside, and Tiffany comes back a day later or whatever, and she's bringing him Swedish meatballs to eat.
Safi,
so I just thought that was really...
Safi, are you invested in this stupid-ass story?
Well, I just really don't even know why Tiffany
about
is there.
About this random story that they just decided to bring in at the second to last episode?
Okay, well, you go ahead now.
Care?
These are the questions I was left with.
Well, they're stupid questions, because the show sucks.
Okay, Marco, go ahead.
Devin comes across Nika, and she's tied up, and he's gonna untie her and get her some water. He's gonna go get water out of this old house that is not even usable anymore. And what's he gonna get? Some toilet water, some water with the heroin needles in it or
Yeah,
something.
he probably has a bottle of water in his
Really?
backpack.
Who? Well, why does he leave his backpack behind to go get water?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't see that.
I did. That's why she got the taser. You know, his precious little taser. He basically left Jake for his taser. Like, he decided that his taser was a better lover than Jake, which is saying something, because Jagged Jake goes with Lexi because he really belongs with Lexi, which is what we all know, and, sorry. Because the writers suck, though, so they can't do that. But then Nika suddenly turns into Chucky out of nowhere. And she gets untied and she grabs his taser, and it's implied that she's going to tie him up. In fact, they showed.
She does tie him up.
Okay, yeah. And she ties him up, and it's like, okay, so she just turns into Chucky and Nika randomly? Like, this just doesn't make sense.
No,
this
it did not make sense. I was confused.
This is so dumb.
I thought there was something about blood had to touch her or something.
Safi, what grade would you give this episode?
I gave it a C, and that was being generous.
Yeah, I bet you gave it a C, because you're really interested in, oh, what's Tiffany doing?
Well, I forgot to say
this is
that
so interesting.
Jake and Lexi are together, and they're trying to figure out what to do. What they end up doing is they're going to go to that house where Devin is.
Yeah.
Because they see somehow
before they go to
through
the house,
some app that he is there.
It is implied that they make out before they go to the house.
No, it's not.
Well, it's implied in my fan fiction, because this show is basically fan fiction.
Okay.
Like, this is not Chucky anymore. This is
And they're waiting for Uber to take them.
Yeah, Uber. Do you like Uber, Safi?
Yeah, it worked for us.
I don't.
Why?
I don't know.
Because
I don't like the show. The show sucks.
Okay. We called Uber many different times when we were in Chicago, and they were fine.
I give this episode an F-. There's really nothing to like in this episode. It was bad, and it just, there's nothing to like anymore. It's like a total disappointment of a show, and it's a total garbage show. Like, there's nothing to like. What's there to like, Safi? What? I mean, you gave it a C.
I gave it a C because...
That's implying that it's average. You think that this is an average Chucky episode? You think this is an average episode of television?
Well, this is before I knew that the next episode was the last episode.
Oh, yeah. What do you think about that, Safi?
I'm shocked.
Yeah. I'm shocked, too.
How could they make a mistake like that?
I don't know.
That's a pretty bad mistake.
It's been now for like 2 to 3 months
I know.
that it showed that there were 10 episodes.
I could see it if they had made a mistake at the beginning and they were on the first or second episode. Oh, sorry, we're really supposed to be just 8.
Oh no, this is this is almost the end of November.
So I'm so confused because now I don't even know if I'd give it a C. I guess I'll just give it a D. because, like I've said it 10 million times, I have no idea how they're going to bring this to a conclusion and who's going to be alive.
It's exactly like I said, Safi. It's going to be a big clusterfuck like with Cult of Chucky. And congratulations, this is now the worst. This is probably the worst show or movie in the whole Child's Play series.
Oh.
Good job.
That's too bad.
So?
It really is.
What should people do, Safi?
Well, people should, if they like this commentary,
like, subscribe,
because we love new subscribers, and make a comment about what did you think about it. And did you know until Marco announced it that the next episode was the final episode? Because it's news to us today. So, what do you think about that? Does it change your mind? What do you want to happen? How about that? You put in the comments, what do you want? How do you want this to end? And how do you think it's going to end? Do you have any idea, any suggestion about the way they presented it,
See,
what's going to happen?
It would be really cool if at the end of the next episode they said, like, part 2 is coming next year, and there was like a mutiny in the writer's room, and a good writer came in and took over, and so the second half of this 16 episode season is going to be written by the good writer. That'd be what I would want to happen.
Well, I put at the end here, who was the man coming to Junior's house's front door?
Junior.
And that's because I thought Devin would have been the one to contact that guy, because he's the one.
He contacted him.
So why would he be coming to Junior's house? Maybe that was.
Is that where they called
house.
him? Is that the address they gave them?
I don't know.
Because that was the place they met up all the time.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
To have their little YA drama.
I don't know, but anyway, we'll see what. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.